Mr. President, we can get on with this Social Security bill any time. We can certainly show some progress around here by getting this amendment in shape to pass and get on with the rest of the amendments. Send this bill over to the House, and if the House is so inclined to agree with the amendment, fine. Then we send it to the President, and we hope, and I am confident, that on balance he is going to sign it. The question of taxation is a matter between the taxpayers and Congress primarily. I think this was a bad move last summer, this particular provision. That is my judgment. I would have to say that based on the letters I have received, it is the judgment of the majority of my constituents that it was a bad move. But I think what is extremely important in this issue and should not be ignored or forgotten or shoved aside is that taxpayers are very concerned about the methods of paying taxes that involve them directly. I am going to repeat that, Mr. President, taxpayers are resigned to having to pay taxes. Who wants them? Nobody wants them. But they are designed to paying them. They know that Congress must pass tax laws that will raise a sufficient amount of revenue, but taxpayers feel strongly about the method of collection of taxes from them and resent undue, unneeded hardship imposed on them. I said yesterday in offering the amendment that while I realize that passage of this amendment would mean $1.1 billion less in this fiscal year for the Treasury, my best judgment is that it is still a very reasonable amendment because we can now have time to review better ways of collecting the revenue, and if it is the judgment of the majority of the Senate after review that this is still the best way, we shall go along with that. I doubt that that will be the case, and we shall find a better way, but it is the particular method of collection that is being objected to by taxpayers. It is a method that imposes on them an unnecessary withholding if they already all are due taxes. The IRA says that is 97% plus of all taxpayers. They are not fools, those people who write us. They do not take pen in hand or pencil in hand and write those letters with the idea that if they are somehow being duped or being cornered by one of the saving regulars, they are writing to us because they are taxpayers and they think this matter is important. What they are really saying is that the method of collection of sufficient revenue has not been properly examined, and this code must be a very costly method of collecting revenue. Why would they say that? First, they know there is some cost to the saving traditions where they can draw their interest from savings accounts. The prime, or they know that, they understand that, and they know who is going to pay that. They are going to pay it. We are going to get less in interest because that savings institution has some cost in collecting the tax. And they know they are going to get less in interest if the practice is to let their interest income accrue to the principal rather than withdrawing it upon payment. If they do withdraw their interest income for living expenses, they may resent having to live on 10% tax withdrawal. If the interest accrues and is allowed to compound as many of them do, at least a prison of it, they know that the early collection of taxes will take some of the money due them on that compounded principal, which would generate more interest payments for them. But they also believe that this is just added paperwork and that after all, the Form 1099, which reports all the interest income, should be adequate, that if something else needs to be done to close the gap for those who are not paying, the masses or the taxes should pay on interest income. Then there should be other methods of collecting tests or that without which involving them. It is in their treatment a poor method and of collecting taxes because they are already paying their full taxes. So first of all, my amendment would decrease revenue for this fiscal year by $1.1 billion, which is 0.6% of what is parochial.